We'll do it live. All right.
If we get copyrighted for
that, could you imagine?
No, people have in the past. I don't know about like recently, but I remember Jeremy Johns did the
crazy.
Superman theme one time, and in his next review, he was like, "I got a strike for that."
That's crazy.
He worked it out, but I was like, "Dude, you can't even hum the music." Anyway,
That is insane. Gosh,
I gotta love dumb AI.
Let's AI.
With me, cracking open a cold one, boys.
Cheers.
It's good to be back.
Nice.
Good to be back.
I'm holding nothing.
Oh man, let's freaking go, you guys.
Let's go. I'm gonna go throw the link in the chats and all that stuff.
Sounds good.
Tell them everybody want to gang up on me as usual.
Yes. Well, another week, another non-Lord of the Rings episode.
I know, man. Another month.
Dude, this Lord of the Rings series is like...
It's wrecked us.
It's a wall that we can't get past for whatever reason. It's like... We've been waiting to do Return of the King for like 2 months.
Man. Yeah, and that... Golly. That's a feat to get through.
Well, it is, because I mean, you just accept that we're doing 2-part episodes, but like, or 2 parts, but like, it's just for whatever reason, one of us keeps being like, guys, I'm so sorry, but this week is not gonna work. Or like last week, we were all here and we were like, can we just talk? Like, can we just hang?
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Byron and I started the DC EU and Me podcast like 18 months ago, and I think we've done 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I've had to cancel a couple times. Josh started with us, but he had to end up kind of backing out, and then Byron's had to cancel a couple times, and then the time difference with like East Coast to West Coast, it's just impossible to find a time that works.
It's hard enough central to east. I can't imagine east to west. That's crazy.
We actually, for the last one we did, I recorded my thoughts over like 15 minutes based on like Byron's script, 15, 20 minutes, and sent it to him. And he just responded to everything I said and edited it to sound like a conversation. It actually worked.
Nice.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And like at the end, I said a bunch of phrases, like asking him questions that he could splice in and react to.
That is hilarious. Wow.
Byron, if you're listening, you ruined it in Audacity because it sounds like it's in a tin can. So get better audio software. Byron.
Freaking Audacity. What are you doing, bro?
The Audacity, right?
Seriously. Yeah, just use I mean, heck, you can even use DaVinci Resolve. The audio stuff on there is pretty dang good.
It's fine in Premiere too. I don't even open Audition anymore most of the time.
Yeah.
But I don't do like super like crazy in-depth audio stuff either. If I did that, I'd probably have to learn Logic, but no thank you.
Yeah.
I like Logic. I use it.
Yeah. But I don't want to learn anything else. I'm old now. I have my tricks. So I don't want any more.
I get it.
That is fair.
That's the wrong way to look at it, but there are days where I'm like, ugh, another.
Well, it's right depending. It's right. Like some things are worth like, you know what? I work at Retro Ricks, and I have just decided I knew I wasn't going to be there a super long time, a much longer, and I just decided, guys, I'm sorry, I'm not learning. I have no brain space to learn Pokemon. I can't do it. Like I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. It's a waste of time for me to learn Pokemon. So you guys are going to have to take it. But like we just have very limited space in our brains, and as you get older, you have less time to learn things. So if you have a DAW or anything that you're comfortable with, you just stick with it.
What typically happens for me is like whenever I'm working on a project and I encounter something that I need to solve a problem, or I have an idea for something and it requires X tool, I'm like, oh, now I have to learn it
Yep.
Yeah.
because I have to for work or for a project or something.
Yeah.
But outside like of work time or whatever, I'm like, I don't have the brain power anymore. I just
Hobbies for what I already know.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We got a
Well,
comment. We got a comment there.
We did get a comment.
yeah, that's Andrew Clark, my boy.
What's up, bro?
He's that's the guy from Dune, right?
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
What's his character's name in Dune? I can't remember.
I'm blanking right
He's
now.
the living computer guy.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like Stone is somewhere yelling at me for not.
I know.
Ain't no way I'm
Fuck it,
remembering that.
Stone.
What are we even Dune?
Mm. Speaking of what are we doing, I'm gonna do the intro real quick.
Let's go.
All right. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Banter Fodder podcast. I'm your host Juby Drew, joined by my co-host Michael Hoover Dam. Jimmy Jam is not here with us today. Instead, it's
no
Curry. It's the Curry Flurry.
What's up, bro?
You know, it's funny you say that because my kindergarten teacher, to this day, because I know her, calls me Curry McFlurry. So
Nice.
I was just about to call you McCurry.
that's fine too.
It's close. It's because I thought of McFlurry when you said that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we're doing another impromptu stream because life has happened again. So we still haven't finished the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but it's gonna happen. We promise. It's gonna happen.
I think the new theme for this podcast is life finds a way. But in this case, it's life finds a way to just throw a wrench in our podcast.
Exactly.
The force
Always.
wills what it wills.
It does. WHILLS.
Speaking of, it will Jimmy Jam into the comments.
Hey, buddy. So he's
It's,
here, but he's not here.
Is he out of town or something?
He is out of town. He is on a work trip right now. Yeah.
Houston?
Nice.
We got a problem. Because Jimmy Jam's not in the chat right now.
He couldn't have just webcammed in from his laptop or phone on a work trip.
I know that's
right?
that's what
Talk
I'm
about
saying.
lack of commitment.
I mean, look
Yep,
at me
he
here.
hits us.
Look at my setup. What James, come on, bro. Do better. I'm at my wife's like grandparents' house podcasting with a microphone I'm holding. This is janky, but I'm doing it.
Mm.
Why aren't you doing it?
You're also in like 360p right now for some reason.
Grandma's house.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm surprised it's not 180.
Right. Yeah.
Is that even a thing? I don't even know.
Probably. I think it's 360, 240. I actually don't know what's below 240.
0.
144, I think, actually.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably.
Like old YouTube had that as an option.
Yeah.
If you guys remember way long ago.
Yeah.
Drew wasn't born yet, but you know.
I wasn't.
Yeah. Andrew backed me up 144.
Curry, are you much older than Drew?
No, probably not.
A little.
Drew, how old are you?
Younger than you.
I'm pretty sure he's like 28 and I'm 32, so it's not. It's like the age difference between you and me, Michael.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Michael, you're what, like 43 now?
Listen.
No, for real, you're like
I won't-
36, right?
37.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
A little beer.
We got Grandpa in here. Oh,
I mean,
man.
I'm at the house, so
Even on stream, I'm
Jimmy
a little
Jam coming in hot, saying that the Mandalorian and Grogu sucks, and man, I couldn't agree more.
He's trying to get us on track. All right.
Yep.
Listen.
Yep. Hey,
that's not what we're doing tonight, boys.
So tonight we're gonna be chatting Star Wars. We're gonna chat some about the Mandalorian and Grogu. We're also probably going to chat a little bit about Maul without going too deep into spoilers because I haven't finished it yet. I've let you guys down. But before we do that, let's get a couple highlights from y'all. What have you guys been watching lately? Curry, let's start with you.
Okay. Let's see. I actually had some friends over this past weekend. It was supposed to be a film club meeting, but Andrew, who's in the chat, had a hockey game to go to because the Canes are in the playoffs right now, which doing great. So my other friend came over, but then our friend who was stationed in Iraq surprised us. He's back, and then surprised us like getting here earlier. So they were like talking about Mortal Kombat and were mentioning movies they want to see. So we watched 3 Mortal Kombat movies that night.
Nice.
We watched 2 of the animated ones in the 2021 movie.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of Gundam, continuing my journey through that, which has been fun. And I recently showed Samuel, my son, the Venom saga like episodes in Spider-Man the Animated Series from the 90s, and it holds up super good.
That show's awesome.
Yeah. And lastly, I watched Madagascar 1 with him the other day. Not as good as I remembered it, but I like to move it. So
yeah. My favorite Noah Baumbach film.
Is that Noah?
Not really. He wrote it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a great.
You'd never be able to tell.
That's a great trivia question.
Yeah.
That is.
But and then I watched another Mortal Kombat animated movie just to prep for Mortal Kombat 2 on Friday, which a few of my friends and I are going to see. So
I'm going to see it at some point this week, and I just don't know when. So
we're actually going Friday night in Raleigh if you want to go.
I wish I could, but I probably won't be able to.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. Michael, what have you been watching?
Y'all, I've actually watched some movies this week. I'm very happy. I had a great movie week. So on top of binging the second half of the Maul series, unlike Drew, last night, it was, by the way, an incredible night. I have found it lately hard to binge shows late at night lately without falling asleep, even if the show's great. I didn't even remotely come close to falling asleep. This show is, I can't wait to talk about it. It's so good. But movie wise, I went and saw Project Hail Mary again in the theater. And really, it really stabilized my thoughts. I didn't want to give it a rating after my first viewing because I was stuck in between 4.5 and 5 stars. And I do tend to overrate when I've watched for the first time. Yeah, I know, Curry, we've talked about this a lot. So I know you do the same. So I wanted to not do that with this movie. I wanted, if I give it a 5 star, it's got to be the real thing. And after this watch, it's a 5 star. It is. It is so good. So the fact that we have this as a 5 star this year, and we haven't even gotten the Odyssey and Dune yet, like it's going to be a good year. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I rewatched for like the 50th time The Social Network. It's one of my most rewatchable movies. I don't know why. I mean, it's probably, I'm going to speak Curry's language right now. I just think I think the editing of it is just so perfect, and the music, and beyond that, it's just like, it's juicy. It's so good. I even love Weirdo Army Hammer. Like, he's so good. He's so good in this movie. But man, yeah, great movie. I always love to rewatch it. I rewatched The Mummy, which the first one. God, I love it so much. It's so good. It is that Indiana Jones meets, I don't even know what. It's its own thing, but it very much feels like Brendan Fraser in that time. We've had at the store, we've had George of the Jungle on the TV a lot. And so like that day he was on the screen, George of the Jungle at the store, and then I went home that night and I watched The Mummy, and I was like, man, this was his era, and he was awesome.
Mhm.
But I loved it. The Mummy is great. And then I think it was Friday night or Thursday night, one of the two. I had a night where I knew I was going to be home. I was going to have the whole evening to myself, and I was like, I want to dive into a world and watch a couple or a few movies tonight, and but I want it to be a series. I chose to watch Dune and Dune Part 2 again, and man, it was a good night. It was a very good night well spent.
Yeah.
It did kind of bring this rewatch brought Dune Part 1 back to 4.5 stars, only because it's so good. I love Dune Part 1, but the difference between that and Dune Part 2 is so great that I just feel like I have to put it at 4.5, because Dune Part 2 is like one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. It is a masterpiece. It is perfect. And even from like the opening moment, it is just, there's something about that movie that is just on another level than Dune Part 1. As much as I love Dune Part 1, it's just, and so I did bump Part 1 down, but not because it did anything wrong. It just isn't as good as Part 2. So, but yeah, that's what I've been watching. Lots of good stuff this week for me.
Heck yeah. That's fun. I need to rewatch Dune Part 2 soon, because I rewatched Part 1 at the beginning of the year, but I need to rewatch Part 2 soon. I have had an interesting list of movies that I've watched. So first one, I rewatched A Walk to Remember.
Bro.
And that
I've
movie
never seen it, actually.
That movie is actually, it's a vibe. I like it a lot.
You're my only hope.
Soundtrack goes so hard in it. Yeah. Oh, it's such a good needle drop. They have 2 Switchfoot songs in it, I think, if
What
I'm
was the
not
other one?
mistaken.
Yeah. It's
I can't remember.
it wasn't Learning to Breathe, was it? I can't remember.
blanking.
But that, man, it was like 3 beautiful letdown Switchfoot gems.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got the Switchfoot reference.
Yes, sir. But yeah, rewatch that fun, dumb movie that I like a lot. I saw Hokum in theaters and absolutely loved it. And I didn't really know what to expect from it. I know it was getting a lot of good buzz. I hadn't seen any of the films, any of the other films by the director, blanking on his name. And Damien McCarthy, that's his name. He's an Irish filmmaker. The last movie he did was Oddity, which I think came out last year, and that was another horror film that got a lot of good buzz, but I just didn't get around to seeing it. But I absolutely love this. It ended up being like really funny, which I wasn't expecting, because the trailer and like just the vibe of it, you feel like it's not going to be that, but it's not like a comedy horror in the way that like a lot of like modern horror films are right now. It's kind of like effortlessly funny and in moments, and in some ways it almost feels like satirical of like, I don't know, like stereotypical like horror elements. So I really appreciated that layer to it. I also think it's just like written really well for the most part. And the best way I can describe it is it feels like a PS2 era, or even like recent like Resident Evil games, where like down to like even the way it's shot, sometimes it feels like a survival horror game. And it just feels like you're going through a theme park of like greatest hit horror moments. So I liked it a lot. and I also thought I had a really strong ending, which is nice. Very refreshing going from Lee Cronin's The Mummy and then watching this and getting to forget about that. So yeah,
There's
highly
actually been a lot of TV shows going on lately too that have been like right up my alley. Like just a lot of stuff to watch. Like with Maul, I was watching Invincible, and Daredevil Born Again ended like literally right before I got on here, like the finale, which is a great finale by the way. And
nice.
I'm not caught up on The Boys though. I'm just kind of meh about The Boys.
I fell off The Boys after like season 2, I think.
I watched through season 3 and I just haven't felt like going back. I'm gonna spoil the ending for myself and decide if I want to catch up or not.
I'm over the shock factor. I'm over the shock factor cynical superhero thing. It's just not me.
That and Invincible just does it way better. Like you
It
still
does.
get all the like gore and like real world impact if this was actually real without all of the cynicism. Like there's still hope in Invincible. And I love that.
Yeah. And also like Invincible to me, and I'm not caught up with Invincible or The Boys. I haven't watched the like past 2 seasons, like so including the season out right now for The Boys. And then I haven't finished season 4 of Invincible. I think it's season 4, season 3 or season 4. I can't remember.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and so Invincible, like it has, I guess, like if you want to call it like shock value, but like it doesn't really feel like that. It feels natural to like what's happening in the story. And like The Boys kind of just got to a point where they were like, all right, how can we make this like even more intense than the last episode?
Let's have
and
a
like
tiny
the last season
run through someone's pee hole.
The Boys
right,
is all
now
about
that was
grossing you
epic.
out. And The Boys is all about making statements to like deconstruct to a point where it's like just like what are we even doing anymore? Whereas Invincible is usually just like it's got the characters and it's telling a story. It has its moments where it's like, you know, got that stuff, but it's really good.
So,
but Star Wars, Maul. There's your transition. Maul has been a highlight. It was kind of a weird situation for me, Michael. I don't even know if I told you this, but you know, right before it premiered, I don't know how because I haven't gotten anything in a while, but Disney sent me an email link with the first 8 episodes, and I was like, "Let's freaking go!" However, it's always comes with like a couple caveats because it was only 8 out of 10, so I knew if I watched it, I have to wait a month to catch up.
Right.
I was going to binge them all at once because you only get access for a few times, like for a little bit when you open the email, and my email is plastered all over it, like throughout the whole thing. And because I'm such a genius, I have the longest email possible for that. Terminatorproductions@gmail.com, you know? So it's just, it doesn't go away either. So, you know, if you try to take screenshots or video, you know, it's watermarked. So I watched 8 episodes in a night, and then you wait a month and like you wait for everybody to slowly catch up. And like I didn't participate in a lot of conversation because I didn't want to accidentally spoil something because I couldn't remember which episodes were which.
Right.
You know, all I said like to everybody was like, I have a couple concerns, but the last 2 episodes may completely do away with them. And they pretty much did. You know, I won't spoil anything for Drew because I know he's only seen like half of it. But Drew, I would say like the first half is like the slow burn, like build up. And that second half, it's like once it hits, it does not take its foot off the gas hardly at all.
It does not. Yeah. And I would say, I honestly though, like even the first half to me, like after the first episode, I felt like it really never felt like it was dragging its feet to me personally. Like I'm
loving the first half.
I sent a voice message earlier to the chat. We were talking about, I always get, this goes back to the certain point of view days, but I always get so annoyed when people talk about pacing issues. Like I always push back on them. I know they're real. I know that it's a thing, and I'm not denying, I'm not a pacing issue denier, but I do think that people use the pacing just bad whenever they just don't like to sit still. And when I do think that we've gotten to a point in society where they can't just watch TV shows And like, you know, I grew up with 24 episode long seasons of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Filler episodes were just part of my life, you know. It just and they didn't feel like filler episodes, they were just episodes. And so obviously maybe 24 episodes is too long, obviously. Like you know, they did
Bring
a
it
lot
back.
bring it back. But like, you know, a lot of sitcoms would have like clip shows and stuff like that. You're like, okay, you guys clearly did not need to have this many episodes. But like, I love when shows can kind of just sit with characters and have adventures and not worry about, oh, the plot has to like, every episode has to move the plot along this much or we check out. And I feel like a lot of the time when people criticize pacing, that's what they're doing. It almost feels to me like if the plot didn't move along this much, the pacing is bad. And I'm like, no, I really felt like the way that this show was constructed, this is just me. I felt like from beginning to end, for the most part, the way this show has been constructed, it has been, if it had gone any other way, I honestly don't think I would have cared as much about Lawson and his son. I don't think I would have cared as much about the Jedi and Devin, the two Jedis. And then so like all of these characters that, you know, I'm tuning in for this Maul show, right? And like he's definitely to me the center point of this show, but like I didn't expect to have like, oh, by the way, some of the best written Star Wars characters in a while are going to show up in the show. I love Lawson as a character. I think he reminds me of it. He reminds me of one of my friends said it feels like Heat set in Star Wars. He feels like a little bit like Al Pacino's Heat, not totally, but like just like this cop that's like he's you know he's not doing.
He's like, she's got a great ass.
Oh my gosh, if he could have just done that, I think I would have just levitated. But anyway, all to say, I don't want to ramble too much about this, but I really felt like the pacing, I thought, allowed for us to really just sit with these characters enough to where now in the back half of the show, and then it like builds up to where, like, I know we were talking about this fight at the end. You can probably tell, Drew, there's a fight at the end. Spoiler alert. But like, but it felt like since we had this character development and since we had these characters weighing these choices and they didn't just do them too quickly out of order or anything like that, it felt like at the end when everything happened, it's like we earned this and it felt so good. And so I love the pacing of this show. I don't think like I'd have to watch it again and not binge it probably to see if I have real issues with it. But all I know is that once I pressed play on episode 6 last night for the first time, I didn't stop watching, and I could like I had to remember like, oh yeah, it's okay. You don't have to hold your breath. like it really had my attention. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree. Like, and when I say, notice I said it's a slow burn. I didn't say it's slow.
Sure. Yeah.
I have talked to people who think that, and I understand why they think that. Mm-hmm. Because the story, and I do stand firm on this, the story does not cover as much ground as I thought it would, and as much as I kind of was hoping it would. And that is mainly because the show and the gap it's like attempting to fill, and within the streaming era, I know we're not going to get 7 seasons like we did with the Clone Wars. That's probably never going to happen again with an animated show. So when it's focusing this much time on one thing, it makes me worried about the longevity of the show and how much they're going to be able to tell. I don't want it to get canceled. All those things play into my head, but taking the show for what it is by itself, I do think it was a slow burn. It was very obvious that it was building to something. There are a couple elements with the new characters that don't go as far, like with their story and background. Like the Heat element doesn't really go anywhere. It's just there to introduce you to Lawson, which is fine.
Starting point. Yeah.
The payoff with the characters is more important to me. But like there's Drew, where you're at is fine. You know, Empire shows up.
Yeah.
We have these Jedis running. It's like a
Mm.
lot of that stuff we spend a lot of time with, and a lot of it I'm like, I have just seen this before. Let's get back to Maul. Not that it was bad; it was well executed, but it was kind of like we're spending a lot of time with stuff like that. Let's get back to Maul. And there was a couple episode stretch where I'm like, all right, we're spending a lot of time with these characters. Maul is still in the show, obviously. He's not getting as much screen time as I would like. But if they pay this off with the end, I will look back and think this was worth it. And that's exactly what happened.
I have a theory, though. I have a theory. This isn't a fan theory. This is just a theory
Is it a
about.
spoiler?
Nope, not a spoiler. It's a theory about show titles. If this show was called anything else other than Maul, Shadow Lord, would you have been like, gosh, get back to Maul?
If it was just called like Shadow Lord or something?
Or if it was just called like, gosh, I don't know. If it was just called Heat, Star Wars. Like,
I understand what you're saying.
Do you see what I'm saying? I hate
for sure.
because once a show names once a show names itself after a character, the expectation is for that character to be front and center all the time. So like Loki, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, like Ahsoka. Whereas you could just say, no, don't do Ahsoka, do, like, I don't know, an heir to the Empire. Don't you know what I mean? Like, don't.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Star Wars has gotten really bad at that. Like with naming stuff after people and then the attention gets pulled away. Boba Fett, anyone. Like,
but yeah, exactly. We're telling a great story here, but it's only because, at least my theory is that I wonder if it was called anything else other than Maul, Shadow Lord. I wonder if we would have thought, like, I wonder if at any point we would have been like, can you get back to Maul, please? Like, what are we doing? Like, I wonder.
Still would have felt that way.
You still would have? Okay.
No, anytime Maul's on screen, I'm just like, I love you, man. Like, he's just the best. No. Here's the thing. I think it's a combination of a couple factors, and I don't want to overstate the criticism because I would still give this season like a 9 out of 10. Like, it's incredible, like 4.5 stars, whatever. But there is a sense of I have waited forever for this gap to be filled, forever for this show,
the pre-Solo.
And when the season started, I was like, you have the audacity to introduce new characters now. Like the Jedi, I understand more because of how they play into Maul's journey, like even more so. And like Devin being based on unused George Lucas material, which I don't know if y'all are aware of, but the show is pulling a lot from that, like a lot from that. And so when we introduce like random, like cop investigation and Empire bureaucracy and all that, I'm like, we just had Andor. I don't need to see that again. However,
I need to see it again.
No, the show sold me on it. So I'm okay with it in hindsight.
Yeah.
But there was a worry there for a bit. But that's why when it comes to, especially with TV seasons, and Michael, I hear you on the pacing thing. I think with streaming, it's harder though, because there's no filler in this. There's no adventure of the week. So the expectation every week is to move the plot forward. And there is no break from like the main story in this. And there was a couple times where it's like, okay, we really didn't do much in this episode, but we sat with Maul for a bit, and I love that. Or we really made everyone care about Lawson, which will make you come in. And they're all great characters. And where things end, I'm like, okay, I'm in. I bought it. It was worth the wait. It was worth the journey. But I think it was just a valid concern for a little bit, and I hope that as they go forward, they're more willing to do smaller arcs within the season instead of stretching it to 10 episodes. Maybe they do something in 4 episodes and there's a time skip or whatever. Our friend Gabe made a great point. It's like, you think about how much time and like story the Clone Wars could cover in 4 episodes and how much story it could tell in a season. And now like there's this sense of stretching things out. And if this was a 16 episode season, I think it'd be fine to have adventure of the week stories, whatever. I think that'd be really cool with somebody like Maul and like his morality and like, is he truly a villain? Is he an anti-hero?
At that point, at that point, it just has to be a Crimson Dawn show, and every week is a new him being an awesome villain, like going around to different,
And I think that's what everybody thought it would be. So when they announced, no, this is Maul's show. But here's the thing, and I thought about this like the more, because I had to sit on it by myself for a long time because nobody else had seen it. Like, you can't just have Maul, right? You have to have a cast of characters. Not every second of every episode can be Maul and Maul's journey, because part of what makes Maul interesting, I'm also going to steal this from Gabe, is like how he interacts with others, right? And in the Star Wars movie he's in, his confrontation with the Jedi is like all he gets. And then like how we actually get him developed in the Clone Wars, and how he plays against the Jedi, and how he plays against Palpatine in the Clone Wars, and Savage and all the other people around him. Like, Maul is super interesting when he's faced with all these dilemmas. And think about the Clone Wars final season playing like off Ahsoka and the Phantom of Promise. Like, you need those characters to do that, and they found characters that were great for that.
Andrew, yo, dude,
backing me up.
Oh man, see you later.
So when you have characters that do that, you have the Jedi that represent the push and pull. With Maul was a Sith, but he's not a Sith anymore, and now he respects the Jedi. Like them, I think they always needed to be in the show. Lawson and company, I don't know how much they add to Maul's journey as a character, but to their show, they added stakes, they added urgency to Janix, and they were just well written. So it's hard to really complain. Long term, though, we'll look back and see how they were, but sometimes characters come and go, and they were there for plot reasons, and that's okay. But they were there for plot reasons, and they were also great like characters, so it's worth it. That was a really long rant. But
Drew, do you have
so as someone who hasn't finished the show yet, obviously, so I'll say this first. You're right, like having Maul, as cool as it would be having him as like the protagonist, like he's the main character in this. He's on the title, but he's not the protagonist, and I understand why. And right now I'm actually working, my friend and I are working with someone on trying to write a season of television, and our friend's pitch basically is to have this character who's just like a complete badass, but like we kind of were like, hey, what if you take the Batman Year One, Batman Long Halloween approach, where this character is the main character, but we are following along the story from someone else's perspective, so that when you get those moments with this character, like you kind of emphasize like the cool factor of the character. And also that character has the ability now to grow through the other characters, which is why like I think the approach that they're having with the Maul show works really well for me. And it just kind of helps that these characters, like I already like these characters. A few episodes in, I was like, yeah, I'm sold.
The thing about it though, and I want to push back just a little bit. The thing about it though is that's not really what Maul does. It does it for a little bit. And then in the back half of the show, it's very much about Maul again, and the other characters are there as well. So it's like it did it for a smidge, and then it didn't. Now this show was called Star Wars Squadron Investigations, and it was like about a police unit that is investigating Maul's criminal activity. Okay, now that approach works. It's not that. This is Maul's Shadow Lord, and it's like first episode, Maul's front and center, and then it like gradually kind of shifts away, and then it gradually shifts back. And so it's kind of like, all right, we were spinning our wheels a little bit to make you care about the end. So again, I don't want to complain too much, but so I don't know. I feel the tug and pull of it, but at the same time,
they just titled it wrong. I
don't think so. I don't think it goes
titling themselves wrong.
Okay. Daredevil Born Again. Like one of the issues I have with the show is there's way too many characters. Way too many characters, way too many storylines. and Wilson Fisk has like 3 times the amount of screen time that Matt Murdock does. And it was like, this is Daredevil show. What are we doing? He was barely in so many episodes of season 2. It felt like. That's probably not even true. I can't back that up with any stats, but that's what it felt like at times. Maul never gets that bad. It's never to the point. It was just like, oh, this is how it's going to be forever. But no, like Michael said, if there was any filler in Maul, there's not. It was, super focused on Maul. We move into other characters while Maul's takes a step back and is kind of like there and is still driving everything. And then they all kind of merge together and it's like, oh, setup and payoff. There you go.
Yeah.
So Michael's right. Like, I'm not disagreeing. I just want to justify why I felt the way I did. So sometimes, Michael, pacing problems are a thing. Okay.
I
wasn't really pacing, though.
said that. I said I'm not a denier that they exist. I just think a lot of times when people mention them, they don't know what pacing is. I'm not saying that about you.
Pacing is the wrong word.
Certainly not saying that about you.
I do think you have a point, though. Like, people cannot handle a slow burn anymore.
It's so
they want
frustrating.
They want to be able to binge it. And this was even nice and gave you 2 episodes a week.
Yeah.
Like, when you get to episode 9, if we had to wait a week after episode 9, like, it would have been
dude. Yeah, that would have been rough. Yeah, because you'll see why. But no, part of me is like getting on to people. Part of me is lamenting. Like, man, I do miss, shows like Fringe and shows like Lost and shows like The West Wing that they could have these episodes that were just this adventure of the week thing, and everybody wasn't just like, oh man, we're spending time way over there. Come on, what's the plot doing? I don't know. Maybe Lost might have even been the beginning of that a little bit. You could probably make that argument, but it was still on network television, and it was still 24 episodes per season or 22 episodes, I think. And it was just like, that's just how it was. That's just how it was. And so we just don't know how to sit with things anymore as a society. So now I'm just getting old and I'm feeling like I'm lamenting how things used to be. And I'm like, that was an element of television. People, like, writers used to be able to tell really good stories in 42 minutes or 22 minutes or whatever. They used to be able to do that. And now it's like, no, it has to be like one long, all these streaming services are like, oh, this is great because it's like an 8-hour movie. That's not what I want. I want TV. I want television. It's an art in and of itself.
And that's kind of what the trap Maul kind of falls into, is it does feel like a 7-hour movie of animated episodes. And you do feel that at times. I just think that is part of the format's like downfall. But that's okay. I mean, dude, I was
whereas like even the Bad Batch, Rebels, the Clone Wars, they all had strong individual episodes like all the time. Right. And so I'm with you there. I think all the Maul episodes are strong, but they are connected, every one of them. It's not like, that's why they all bleed together to me,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
But like I was saying, I'm a Smallville fan. Like, dude, I watched 7.5 years of like, you get the Superman mythos stories and you get the Freak of the Week. And then the Freak of the Weeks become other DC heroes, which I thought was a genius move later on. And then, you get to season 8 and like Clark's in every episode. Like that doesn't change. But, you have some intro scenes and then, one of the episodes, it's Green Arrow's origin story. And it's mainly flashbacks. Like in season 8, it's like, this is awesome. And you've justified it by that point. He's been in the show for a couple seasons. Yeah, give it to me, I think the reverse thing with Maul, it's like Maul's been secondary protagonist, like never like, or antagonist, like for all these times, and people have been clamoring for Maul. It's like, okay, we're going to risk taking Maul away for some new characters you're asking us to care about. You better make it worth it.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yep. Yeah. Makes sense.
But anyways, Mandalorian Grogu, after that,
probably talk about something Drew, something none of us have actually seen, so we can just full on talk about it.
Mando and Drew.
We had on one of these recent episodes, it was probably the last live stream, I'm pretty sure we were talking about Mando and Grogu at some point. And just to get it out there right now, the last trailer that they had, I was like, dude, they might have sold me a bit more than they did before.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't that it was like perfect or anything, but I'm like, okay,
It's a solid movie trailer.
It was a solid trailer. So and there
Finally.
was some things in it that were kind of exciting to me. But then like the 2 recent clips that they like shared really killed a lot of the hype that I had. I just want to get that out now because I don't want to spend the entire conversation on that. So Michael had the great idea of being like, "Hey, let's talk about like
the day before
what
the
could
clip
be."
comes out, by the way.
Yeah, the day before the clip comes out, and he's like, "Hey, what if we have, you know, some time to talk about things that we're excited about with the movie or that could be good with the movie and have a little bit of optimism." So it's gonna be hard for me to do that after that clip.
Okay, let's frame it. So like we've all talked ad nauseum. We're all concerned about this movie, right? Like it's like
Even
we
Curry
all,
is, and Curry loves bad. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, me and Curry are prone to like, honestly, I think we're both similar here. We're prone to like, okay, guys, let's just wait and see. Let's, you know, like we're prone to be a little more on the positive leaning side, especially with Star Wars. Like I
usually am too.
I know, but you guys make fun of us for it. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, but Drew, you're also the first person to be like, this movie looks like butt. And I'm like, dude, it was a 30-second trailer. Shut up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine, Drew.
Yeah. So we all have our concerns about it. And you know, we all are lamenting, like, man, it's just like there's a new Star Wars movie coming out this month. There's no hype for it. And even for me, I'm not that hyped for it. I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna go see it in the theater, maybe multiple times because I'm me, but who knows? But I gotta say, even me, you know, the hype isn't there. We've talked so much about that stuff, though. I'm so tired of talking about like why this doesn't look like a movie or why does it look like a TV show and why are they doing this as a movie? Like,
yeah,
I just want to talk about like what if, you know, there is such a thing as like, man, they blew the marketing and they have blown the marketing on this. Like the marketing on this has been putrid. They have done nothing to excite anybody about this movie. And the trailers, even with Pixar movies, oftentimes, I remember seeing the trailer for like Up back in the day. And I was like, that looks kind of dumb. And then you go watch it and you're like, like, holy crap, this is one of the best movies ever. It's like sometimes marketing can be wrong or misleading or whatever, and just poor. And sometimes even special effects aren't completely finished. I know we're getting really close, so that doesn't hold up as much. But so I guess my point is like, what if this is more on? I was watching some clips the other day of Iron Man, and dude, I know they were writing that movie on the fly, but you could have fooled me. That movie is perfect. That movie is so smart. Every little thing they do in that origin story, it is so freaking brilliant. And I think that if this movie is even like 2/3 or half of Iron Man and its intention in direction and its intention in like how to tell an entertaining story, but also like and they are kind of carrying this Mando verse on its back too a little bit. Like if this movie can just be a solid good time, but actually have some elements that Iron Man had, which Jon Favreau, he's got it in him. He's a good director.
when he wants to be.
There's part of me that is holding on to that, you know. So there's that possibility. So like, what if, you know, I don't know, what would we have to see for this to happen? I guess is what I kind of just want to talk about. is there a world where this movie actually surprises us and actually is like, man, I think I might love this movie. Like, what if that's what happens? Because like what if it's like Solo? Nobody wanted Solo. Nobody asked for Solo. Nobody's asking for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. But here I am, 8 years after Solo comes out, 9 years after Solo comes out, and I'm like, I love this movie. This is a great Star Wars movie. I want to feel, if I can feel like Solo, like I do for Solo, for Mando and Grogu, I think that's going to be a big win. Now, financially, Solo is the other flop. So, Disney wants it to be better. So anyway, you guys can.
So I want to say something about that with Solo real quick. It's going to be hard for me to like think about that because as we were talking about doing this, that's one of the things I thought of, and I'm like, but the thing is, like Solo, like even like the haters aside, like when the trailers came out, you could tell like this felt like a movie, and Mando and Grogu still doesn't feel that way to me, and especially after some of these clips have dropped.
We know.
But I don't want to spend time on that. But I just wanted to give that quick caveat.
Ron Howard added legitimacy, like for sure, no doubt about it. That was you could tell that was a real movie.
And I don't really trust Solo's flop either. I think this is not comment on Last Jedi. The Last Jedi's reaction and it coming only 6 months later, I think was a huge mistake. It should have
been one of Bob Iger's biggest mistakes. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Had it come out in December, I think it would have doubled what it made.
Absolutely.
I think it would have.
Absolutely.
I totally agree. Yep.
Yeah.
Because time
Bob Iger would say the same thing.
Because there's a lot of people who like actually like the movie a lot.
Yeah.
I'd say like the general consensus on it is that people thought it was good.
And
general consensus?
It is, Michael, you nailed it. It is the movie no one asked for.
Mm-hmm.
And with streaming, I'm gonna get into my positive spin, if that's okay.
Let's go, please.
I do have some thoughts. Shots. I can't talk.
Shots.
I've got the sauce, actually. The curry sauce.
Yeah, you do. Oh.
Yeah. Getting a little spicy.
One thing that we as a collective friend group, and we know other people feel this way too, is a lot of times a Disney Plus series will come and go, or we say one of two things. We either say, well, we say many things, but one of two things that we always say is like, this could have been a movie or should have been a movie, whether it's Marvel or Star Wars or whatever, or this should have been animated, right?
Or it should have been an email.
Or yes.
And with Mando, it's like, it makes sense as popular as The Mandalorian was, and it's kind of ended. Yeah, let's make a movie now. Okay, I buy that. Mando is like the safe, popular, pretty much everyone likes Mando, at least in some way, fashion, or form in Star Wars. Yeah. And I think it's interesting. They released that demographic thing on Star Wars Day of like what age groups watch what of Star Wars, and like the really young and the really old, Mando was their top stream thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those are also the two hardest demographics to track with pre-sales and ticket sales with movies. And they tend to be, especially children, what boon box office the most.
Mm-hmm. So wild cards.
And the marketing it has been bad to us, but what are we? We are diehard Star Wars fans. And diehard fans
millennials.
make up, and millennials, they make up like, I don't have an arbitrary number, but casuals make up most of ticket sales. Let's just be honest. So I think the marketing has been safe for that reason. They're just like, look, cool Star Wars. You love the Mandalorian. This is more Mandalorian. This is more cute Grogu. This is more action. Come see it on the big screen now, not on your TV. And people are like, oh, sweet. Most people don't even notice the volume stuff. Like, I'm talking like filthy casuals that they don't know. They're like, oh, it just looks like Mando. More of what I like. Okay. And that's not necessarily a positive thing. I'm hoping that means that there's more to the movie once they get people in the seats. Yeah. Their focus is like, look, we are hating on this movie. Drew especially has been hating on this movie. His butt's going to be in the seat day one. They know the haters are going to see it no matter what.
Yeah.
Yep. So my thinking is like, okay, what do we know about the plans? Mando season 4 was in development at one point, seemingly has been pushed aside. We know Ahsoka season 2 is coming, supposedly this year. I don't know if we have confirmation on that, but and then there's the whole Mando Avengers movie that some of us call it, the crossover movie, which I personally think will be it'll be Heir to the Empire or some version of Heir to the Empire. I don't know if you call that. They've used that phrase in Ahsoka multiple times. Thrawn's back, all that.
Which I'm actually really excited about that.
So I'm terrified of it. There's so many things that can do wrong.
Oh, I agree. But
here's the thing. I think Disney Plus has not gone how they thought. And they're like, hey, let's take our safest bet, make it a movie, see how it does. I think it's still going to do better than people think. Grogu alone is a gold mine. And then if it does well, this crossover movie that we were planning probably for Disney Plus, we're going to put in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there will be more build up to that story-wise. And I think there will be some lead-ins to Ahsoka 2. How direct those are, I don't know. I was talking with Lamont today. I was like, dude, what if there's like a post-credit scene with Ahsoka leading into the show? Like, that'd be a huge boon for the viewership of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's going to be more at play. I don't think it'll just be, we're hunting Empire for 2 hours. Like, Mando was never built that way. Yeah, it had one-off adventures, but I don't feel like they do that as a movie because I feel like it would strike back pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just going into it as a fan of The Mandalorian and thinking about what I like of The Mandalorian is I have always, for the most part, loved how Mando has done its action. It gives me a flavor of Star Wars action you don't really get to see. We get fisticuffs.
I miss talking to you, bro. I miss talking to you about Star Wars.
But we get like choreographed fist fights in Star Wars, which is like strangely a rarity. You do get the lightsaber stuff with the Darksaber and like all the blaster fire, and Mandalorians, like outside of Jedi and Sith, they're the coolest looking things in Star Wars.
Yeah, they're the coolest.
Ever since Boba Fett showed up, and then we got the little bit of Jango Fett and Attack of the Clones that we did. People have wanted that, and it delivers that in spades: jetpacks, flamethrowers, missiles, like tech, ship battles, like piloting. You get literally everything.
Minigun,
like spears and like Beskar armor. You get the
whistling. What's the whistling bird or something? Whatever it's called.
Yeah,
that he did. It's like a bunch of little. Oh yeah, so cool though.
Now, dude, now there's a kaiju at the bottom of Mandalore. Like you get kaiju stuff. Like it literally every flavor of Star Wars that people you get like the Dark Empire, not Dark Empire, but the darkness of the Empire, like in the background, like manipulations. You get Force lore. You get set up. Mando is literally the jack of all trades of Star Wars. And so I go in and I've seen some of the clips. Like they do stuff in Star Wars we've never seen before. They do lots of long takes. They do lots of action scenes shot in wide shot, like continuously. And I'm excited to see that stuff. I think when the volume first came out, it was really cool. It was really exciting. It was really promising. I think it's been terribly mismanaged as a technology across the film industry. Way overutilized, just like green screen was after the prequels.
Just like AI is now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's a whole other thing. But I'm hoping, since Favreau was one of the guys who like pioneered it and has arguably used it the best, other than some of the bad stuff we've seen from the trailers, like the race, or not the race, the chase scene or whatever. I think a normal person would look at it and go, "Hey, it looks fine." They wouldn't say it looks bad. They wouldn't say it looks good. They say it looks fine. It looks serviceable. And I think there's going to be a lot of that. But I'm hoping maybe, just maybe, since they have more of a budget, maybe they'll do something with it we've never seen before.
Yeah.
Maybe they can push new ground. That I'm hopeful there, but not. It probably won't happen.
Yeah. Y'all remember like when Jon Favreau finally directed an episode of The Mandalorian?
Didn't he direct the first one?
No. Dave Filoni directed the first one.
Yeah.
Jon Favreau directed episode 1 of season 2, The Marshal.
Yeah, dude, that episode was epic.
That episode
is the best episode.
And like that, I can't get away from that. Like he's like the man in charge of this show, but when he has his hands on the director's chair of this show, we got that. I just don't see this movie sucking. Like I can see it being mid, but I can't see it like just being like trash, because I saw The Marshal and that episode, dude, like the freaking, what's the beast called in that? in that
The
episode.
crate dragon?
The crate dragon. Dude, it looked
Holy
great.
crap, you're right.
And there were points in that where it actually like expanded to IMAX or whatever, you know, the format. And it was like, dude, Jon Favreau is like, let me play with an episode. And it looks like that. I just feel like that's not just like he did Iron Man, he did this show as a show and not with a movie budget. He can do this. I just believe it. I do.
Yeah. I think it's possible. I wish the marketing would have been better, because like I still don't know, like with all the other Star Wars movies, you always get like a good sense of like, okay, like this is a general, like this is what the plot is. And like with this one, I still don't know like what other than like, okay, he's hunting Empire, but like there's also the Hutts, and then there's Embo, and then there's this, and there's that. And so like that's the only worry that I have, because I'm like, is it an adventure of the week basically just in a movie, which I kind of don't want. What I would really love is if it does kind of bridge the gap for the like Mandoverse like story that they're building up to with Heir the Empire. Like I want that from it. Like I want a reason, because like Solo is the movie that nobody asked for, but what does it give us? It gives us a fun story with Solo and Lando, and we get the Crimson Dawn, and we get the origins of like different things, and we also get the Parsec, or what's it called, the Kessel Run, and like that is one of the coolest visual like spectacles of Star Wars, like in Disney era. So I don't need this movie as much as I want it to be like Andor level quality or whatever, or like Rogue One, or like some of these other films. I don't need it to be that. I just want a reason to be like, oh, there's a reason for this, other than like, hey, let's just make a movie. I want like there to be a story that is strong enough that like I want to revisit it. I don't need it to be the strongest Star Wars story, but I want it to be fun, obviously. And I also want there to be like something that it's just like building towards in a way. I don't want it to just be like a random one-off of like, okay, well, that's the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. And
how cool would it be? Because you know we're getting Jabba the Hutt's son in this. You don't know who his son is and where he first showed up. The Clone Wars movie that everyone loves.
Stinky? Is that what his name was in the
Was it Stinky? Or was it? Yeah, it was Stinky.
Yeah.
What if this sets up a return and him and Ahsoka get reunited on screen? Because Dave Filoni's like, screw all of you. I do what I want. And this is going to happen. And they make him a really cool character that makes us go in hindsight and go, oh, little Stinky grew up. That would be kind of neat, though, if they somehow organically found a way to do that. But yeah, I think, Michael, you probably just gave the strongest argument that I have never thought of. I didn't realize Favreau only directed that episode.
Literally, that's it.
Over other ones. Probably because he wrote a bunch of them. I just see his name in the credits and I was conflating.
Yeah.
But that is arguably the most cinematic episode of The Mandalorian. Like just in terms of scale and aspect ratio and all that. And I see some of that like in the trailer, like that they're attempting, like when the AT-ATs fall off the mountain and stuff. Like some of the scale is there. I think I have a distrust of trailers now in general, because marketing is totally divorced from the filmmakers. I don't know how Lucasfilm does it, but like I think about Transformers 1, the animated Transformers movie that came out, had one of the worst trailers I have seen ever. And then it came out, it was getting like really good reviews, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll try it. And it was great. It was actually a great movie, but it had one of the worst trailers I've ever seen. So I'm kind of distrustful of trailers unless like it's Dune or like something that, or the Odyssey, where you know the filmmaker has a ton of say in it.
Right.
Not that Favreau doesn't. I just it feels very intentional how vague they are.
Yeah.
They're very choppy in how they're edited and what they're choosing to show, and they're doing some really weird moves like the Super Bowl thing. But that leads me to believe they've told you enough about Mando. It's Mando and Grogu. They're hunting the Empire. They're going to run into the Hutts. Like, those are 3 big Star Wars checklist things that's going to get butts in seats. So it's like, okay, using context clues of what we know from behind the scenes and what's coming tells me that this, more than likely, if it's a hunting the Empire story, it's not going to be a one-off adventure.
Yeah.
It's going to be a stepping stone to something more. It'll probably be tied up for this movie, but we don't know who the villain is. Like, we don't know anything. And in a way, we're not used to that, but in a way, that's kind of exciting. We're all going in like, what's going to happen, dude? Like, this could be
unfortunately, most people are more like, what is this movie even about? Like,
right.
what? It's not like, what's going to happen is,
it's what's not gonna happen.
Yeah. I think
Look, I'm trying the positive spin, okay?
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Yeah, and for me, I don't need this to tie into some, like, you know, heir to the Empire thing to be a success. To me, I would almost rather it be more Mando and Grogu centric, and maybe, like, obviously, you know, I know another big positive for me is Zeb is going to be in this, and I don't think he's just a cameo. He's a real character in this, and I'm so excited for that. So maybe if we see him, maybe we could see like Hera and stuff like that too, because she's in Ahsoka, and you know, I think that would be very natural for her to appear in this, being the general, and all that.
And also, like, Ezra is back.
Ezra's back.
Yep. Thrawn also escaped at the end of Ahsoka. If they're hunting the Empire, that's a big thing to ignore. So it's like, I'm not saying Thrawn's necessarily in the movie, but it's got to be Thrawn adjacent, because he's like the big Empire threat now.
Yeah. So what's up, Lore Seeker? Godzilla Lore Seeker. That's Drew.
Yeah, it's true.
That's Drew. What's up?
Not this Drew.
Not that Drew. But yeah. But yeah. So like, I think for me, I want this movie to stand on its own. I want it to stand on its own, and it can lead to something else. That's fine. Like a lot of MCU movies, it, like Iron Man, stands on its own, but it obviously leads into other stuff too. So like, I want it to stand on its own merit, and I do think that there is a very good possibility that, like, Curry, I love what you said. It's like, I don't know if this is good, but I kind of like that. I don't know, like, what if they are, you know, we can criticize all the marketing. It's been pretty poor halftime decisions, the Super Bowl halftime thing. We can criticize so many things about the marketing, but what if a good thing is, like, there is a real villain in this movie and we don't know who it is? That is actually kind of exciting. We just haven't. What if all of these, like, we see all these different kind of, you know, anti-heroes, villains, whatever, that they're going after. What if that's all just kind of fast in the movie? What if that's not the whole movie? What if that's just the first act of the movie? What if there's so much more? Disney does that all the time in their trailers. They with their shows, especially, they won't show past episode 4. If it's an 8-episode show, they won't show past episode 4 anything that happens after that. They could be doing that with this movie. So, like, I think there's precedent for that too. That's not just me hope, you know, that's not just hopium.
Yeah.
It's a little hopium, but there's precedent there. You know what I mean?
Trailers nowadays tend to spoil, like, you watch a trailer for a lot of movies nowadays and you feel like you've watched the whole movie. Like, that happens I actually don't like watching a lot of trailers now anymore because of that. But I feel like there has been a shift with some bigger movies lately where it's like they're getting better and not revealing too much, but we're almost spoiled. Like, oh, we should know more. It's like, no, I'm actually, the more I talk about it, the more I'm kind of okay with that. And I think the biggest novelty that we actually haven't addressed and the positive is Star Wars is back on the big screen.
Yeah.
Mando kind of took it away after Rise of Skywalker and pretty much saved the franchise. And Mando is giving it back. So it's kind of like a full circle moment for Mando. I I'm not super stoked for it. I'm kind of like whelmed. I'm like, okay,
We're whelmed.
yeah, neat. Like, I'm not as negative. I'm not as harsh on a lot of the volume stuff as other
I'm not
people are.
either. I'm not
There
either.
are times, to be honest, man, people will complain about it. I'm like, to be honest with you, I don't even notice it. And then
Yeah.
there's times where I'm like, oh, it's awful. Like, okay,
Yeah.
for example, like I'm super stoked for Mortal Kombat 2, but I know they use the volume in that and some of the trailer shots. It's not even that it looks bad, it's just obvious.
Yeah,
Like
it's very
it just
obvious.
looks obvious.
Yeah.
Bad green
So,
screen
like-
and bad volume are different. And it's like Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Nobody talks about how great the CGI was in that movie because the use of the volume was so poor and so
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
Even though the visual effects were like really good.
Yeah.
Like, so there is part of me that's more forgiving, but then
Me
you see
too.
some of like the chase scene they release and you're like, this is pretty flat, dude. Like,
Mhm.
maybe through editing and things it'll look better. Maybe not, but I'm willing to let go of that a little bit and just be like, okay, show me what you got. And even if the volume is like super grating and like obvious and just kind of annoying the whole time, the story could still be great.
Well, and we know that one of the mysteries of this is that like they keep showing these clips that looks like they're on the volume, but I know they talked about this movie. I know it has a movie budget. I know they're on location at places. I know they built an AT-AT set. Like I know these things in the movie.
Yeah.
Why the heck aren't you leaning into that? Like,
I know.
why aren't you leaning into that? Maybe most of that. This is back into my positive spin. Maybe most of that's in the back half of the movie. You know, like maybe a lot of that's in there. But you know, I do, as long as we don't have any like Book of Boba Fett, Tatooine, they're standing at night on sand, and it's like, oh my gosh, they're standing in a room with sand. like you know what I mean? Like there are times when the book of when the volume looks awful. I will say I do think in general the Mandalorian, except for with the exception of like 2 episodes, I think we're all thinking of the same episode from the 3rd season, but with the exception of like 2 episodes, the Mandalorian generally looks pretty darn good on the volume. Like I think it kind of takes advantage of it in the best way. Of all the series that primarily take place on the volume 100%, like it does the best. 100% it does.
You can tell that those directors were trained on it more for the most part. And Favreau, that's Favreau's baby. Like, and maybe he's like, I'm going to show him what it can do when it's mixed in with practical sets and it's mixed in with green screen. They have not been maybe smart about all the clips that they've chosen to do that. Yeah. I also, a worry I have is the whole Netflix thing is like, let's film everything where it's center frame so it can be optimized for social. And that may be a studio mandate type thing where it's like,
gosh, I hate that so much.
This is shot super flat so it can be easily clipped. Or, hey, let's pick the one shot of this chase scene we have that's like really easily put on social media because people will just watch it and it'll gain views and get tracking. Like marketing thinks about crap like that. So it's,
I know, especially
on that kind of scale. So I want to go in with an open mind, but also expectations are fully in check. However, Michael, I do want to disagree with you. Just add a little bit more friction to this.
Let's go.
I don't want it to stand by itself. I am so tired of that with Star Wars. Yeah. I want you to convince me to hope again in this franchise on the big screen. If you are going to lead into something, you have been teasing that to me for 5 or 6 years, this is the time to get people on board. Marvel didn't become how Marvel is by standing alone. Every movie, Iron Man included, left with a giant tease with what's to come. Iron Man does stand by itself as a movie, but it also has, we're building the Avengers initiative at the end with Nick freaking Fury. Like,
but I don't want Star Wars to be the MCU.
But every Star Wars movie has always led to something else.
Yeah, the trilogy format, they always lead into each other. There's always giant cliffhangers,
and even
with the exception of New Hope.
And Rogue One and Solo, yes, they're prequels, but they lead into something, and they set up other things that we've seen pay off for here and there with certain aspects. So,
and we know a crossover is already in the works. And if you're going to have a Mando movie come before that, do the legwork to set that up.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I can go to I don't want it to be so standalone that it doesn't work with anything else. I just want it to be like Iron Man. I want it to be able to stand alone. I don't want it when I watch an Avengers movie, I feel like I needed to watch several movies before it. You know what I mean? I don't want it to feel like an Avengers movie where I have to watch a bunch of stuff before it to enjoy it. I want to enjoy this movie on its own, but I also do want if it leads into the Heir to the Empire stuff or whatever they're doing, the big movie, if it leads into that, that's cool as long as it's also good on its own. I don't want it to be
That's fair.
I don't want it to be reliant on what it's leading into. I want it to stand on its own and lead into something well.
Here's the thing, though. It already is. It already can't because it's the sequel to 4 seasons of television. It can't stand on its own. That's impossible for what this movie already is. So I think for it to do that, it has
the Mandalorian. It can stand on its. The Mandalorian can still largely exist as the Mandalorian.
But to be a standalone movie, it has to be a completely divorced adventure that never goes anywhere. And I just don't want that. Yeah. I just don't want that because, I mean, we've seen what happens with the MCU where it's like, you need to watch 4 TV shows to understand what's happening in this movie. And it's like, maybe not the best idea. And I'm concerned about that. That's my biggest concern with box office. But I think when you're saying like, well, we had 3 seasons of the show and Book of Boba Fett, you have to count that in there. It's too important to not. So 4 seasons of television, and now you're getting a movie. It's like, well, I think that conversation's out the window. I don't think you can say like, well, yeah, I just wanted to be its own thing and not be too reliant on others. And like when I rewatch, I'm like, well, when we ever rewatch The Mandalorian, will we ever start with Mando and Grogu? Or are we going to be super Tylenol about it? Start at Mando season 1 to go the whole way through. You know what I mean? I know I probably would. I mean, maybe occasionally I would just put on. Do you ever just start at Revenge of the Sith? Do you ever just start at Empire Strikes Back?
Yes. You don't do that? You can't watch just one movie?
No, but I don't usually start at the second movie. I usually watch the whole original trilogy.
I've done so many watch throughs. I can do it.
Michael, you were forever a unicorn, and I love you for it.
I'm what?
You're a unicorn, and I love you for it.
Watch me fly. No, fly? Yes. My horn can pierce the sky. So I get what you're saying. I do think that I could watch the Mando. I want to be able to watch the Mando movie without having to watch the show first, as someone who's seen the show already. If that makes sense. I don't. No, right. Well, that's a concern for box office. I'm talking to someone who's seen the show already. I don't want to feel like I have to rewatch the show to watch the movie again. I want to be like, no, I want to watch this adventure, and it leads into something else cool. But I want to watch this adventure. And all that, that's I don't want it to be self-contained to the point where it doesn't work with anything. I just want it to be self-contained to where it's good on its own, but it also does lead to other things, and it is a natural continuation of what came before. I think that's very possible, and I think that's reasonable. So, but
and it doesn't need to be sequel bait the entire time. If that's what you mean. Yeah.
Right. I don't want
planting seeds is okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't want it to feel like I don't want it to only exist to lead into something else. I feel like that is something that movies do today. And it's like, I don't want it to feel like, okay, I'm only watching this because it's a means to an end to something bigger. I don't want it to feel that way. I want it to be a fun adventure on its own and to be enjoyed that way. You know what I mean?
It would be kind of cool if this was like the stealth start to a trilogy, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
I was about to say that.
And I mean, they may even rebrand the Heir to the Empire thing as a Mando thing with other characters showing up. And we get I don't know if Mando trilogy is the right call, but it's like, just go with me. Ahsoka season 2 is coming out. Say Ahsoka and season 2 ends on a cliffhanger and we get an Ahsoka movie. Not saying that's a good idea. Just, it's like part 1 is Mando and Grogu. Part 2 is the Ahsoka part. And part 3 is the culmination. It's Heir to the Empire, whatever. Like that might be kind of cool. And like each Star Wars movie, like trilogy movie, they stand on their own while leading into the next one very organically. And that's what I'm saying I want. I don't need it to be
I want that too.
Set up all the things. And so I think once you clarified.
Yeah. I think we overlap a lot. Yeah, for sure. I think we overlap a lot there. I would also you said Mando trilogy, and you said it with Mando and then like Ahsoka, and then it leads to like a bigger thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, when you said that, I was like, what if it did just lead to like Mando and Grogu, and then like this movie has a sequel and it's more Mando and Grogu? I would, if it's good, let's go. Let's do it. Yep. Give it to Rick Famuyiwa though. Let's go. You know what I mean?
They were like, hey, let's take season 4 and make it a trilogy of movies. I'm so down.
Yeah. Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, who knows? We're so speculating heavily right now. But that's all we're doing. That's all we're able to do. But I actually feel good. I feel like we had a good conversation about this movie, and that's all I wanted. I'm so tired of just shitting on it. It feels like it does feel like there's been so much. And even from me, like I'm gonna always look at the glass half full with Star Wars until I can't. And even me, I was starting to go like, man, this is just not exciting me anymore. I keep looking forward to Starfighter, which I still am.
I have a piece of advice for you.
Yes.
What day does the movie come out? The 22nd? 23rd?
Something like that.
The day before, binge The Acolyte, and it will be so much. Mando will be. It will be so good again. Just binge The Acolyte. You haven't watched it yet, so you're a fake fan anyway.
I watched 3 episodes, and I was such a real fan that I could not continue anymore.
Oh my gosh, it does not. I will say, episode 5, even if you just stop there, episode 5 is actually legitimately good.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard everybody say that. There's a great episode in there somewhere, but like,
it is a one great episode, and the lightsaber fights are cool. That is me squeaking out every bit of positivity I can.
I can't do it though, dude. I can't do it.
It is like the worst finale I think I've ever seen.
Drew Miller, poop.
Finna make me cuss.
Yeah, it is. But at the same time,
more like the Acco shite.
There's that whole hack where you watch something really bad in the same universe before you go into something you're nervous about, and it's like, this is awesome.
Unfortunately,
it was the one Star Wars movie I went into when I went into like, oh, fine.
Yeah.
Force Awakens and Last Jedi, I went in stoked. And that one I went into and I was like, oh yeah, like I wasn't as disappointed because my expectations were in check.
Yeah.
But then you sit on and you think about it and you're like, actually, that movie was donkey doo-doo.
Donkey doo-doo.
Don't watch The Rise of Skywalker before it though, because then you're gonna watch that and you're gonna be like,
oh man, at least this looks like a movie.
Yeah, at least it looks like a movie.
That's why I watched The Acolyte, because it still looks bad too. So
the thing is, I can't. I was talking. You guys were all there. We were talking about The Acolyte earlier in our chat, and I was like, just seeing some comments from Leslie Headland and seeing some of the things that she said. She is actually what people think Rian Johnson is to Star Wars. She actually is that. Like, she does not understand the basic good and evil of Star Wars. She doesn't understand so much of it, of like on a basic fundamental level. And I am just like,
her approach to writing it is what people accuse the Rings of Power of doing. And that is not true.
It's not remotely true.
Oh my God. I didn't want to think about the fact that probably exists, Drew, and it probably does. And I'm disgusted.
Moi moi.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
Misa back.
Yeah. I also think, and hopefully, Drew, I get to go with you guys too. I'm thinking I will, but just got to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
I also think seeing it with friends could make the experience like really, really cool.
Yeah.
Or it can make it worse because we all disagree when we walk out, because Star Wars has a habit in our friend group to tear us apart.
True. That's true.
But me and Michael, not so much anymore, because we've just done this dance so many times.
Oh
No.
man, we honestly sometimes I feel like we celebrate our differences at this point.
On the large swaths of Star Wars, we agree though.
We do.
Even the sequel trilogy, like on the large swaths of things, we agree.
Yeah.
I have no criticisms you do, but
I feel like when we've said this before, when we disagree, boy, do we disagree. It is a knockdown, drag out disagree. Like, don't get us talking about, should they have reunited the original characters in the sequel trilogy? Don't get us started on that, because that's bad news for us. But when we agree on something like how great the Return of the Jedi is, we will let's go to battle for this movie, because Drew Miller, you back us up here. Return of the Jedi, top 4 Star Wars movie.
Yep.
So yeah, I love talking about Star Wars with you, because yes, there can be those extremes, but we have a whole lot of overlap though.
Star Wars is that one franchise where like everyone is an enigma. There is no universal shared opinion. Like you talk to somebody and like they may hate the sequels and love the OGs and hate the prequels, or there's ones who hate every movie but A New Hope and Empire. There are people who
sounds like a miserable life.
There are people who love the Acolyte.
There's people who love The Rise of Skywalker.
They want season 2 of the Acolyte. They really do.
I want season 2 of Kenobi, and people think I'm crazy. So
I like season 1 of Kenobi, and I don't want season 2 of Kenobi.
I have no idea what they would do.
Too many timeline landmines to navigate, as if there weren't already enough.
There are too many like
continuity.
Not even that. It's just like, how do you justify him leaving the planet again? And if it's just on Tatooine, how do you make it interesting enough?
They
like when they talked about it being a movie trilogy at first, and those original ideas they had, that would have been awesome. But that ship has sailed. That ship has sailed.
And so has, like, honestly, as much as I do like the show, the ship has sailed on the best idea for that show, which is him dealing like a really serious introspective show about him dealing with the trauma from Anakin and like all that. Like that was like him alone in the desert, like a depressing Obi-Wan show, like kind of a Logan version of Obi-Wan almost. That's the Obi-Wan show that we really needed, I feel like.
And him kind of like defending
that is a show that should have been 10 episodes.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Not 6. It was only 6, right?
It was only 6. And and
it should have been 10.
What were you saying, Drew?
I was gonna say, like, also focusing on like that like introspective aspect, but then also having him be like this like quiet protector of Luke, and like I don't know, there's just so much you could do with that.
He didn't need to go on these. He didn't need to leave Tatooine, and they didn't need to bring Leia into it. As much as I love Vivian Leroy Blair, but like
I don't agree with that. I think they found the one story that justifies him leaving the planet, and they did that well. But I think the only other story that you could do that would have been great in live action, they've already done in Rebels, and it was perfect, and they don't need to redo it. Him facing Maul again was the only other thing really worth exploring, and they've done it so well and so succinctly. Like, what else can you do? Like we have enough, and they did it great to me. Well, they did parts of it great to me. I am not going to sit here and say that Obi-Wan Kenobi does not have execution issues. I am not going to say that. But I think, speaking broadly from a story standpoint, story solely, not production, I'm really okay with majority of the decisions they made. I wanted more Qui-Gon was my biggest thing from the story.
That could have been part of communing with Qui-Gon. Could have been part of the depressing version that I'm talking about. Gosh, it could have been so good.
That first episode was so promising with that. It was.
It really was. Drew Miller says, "What about Flea's cameo?" As Curry, we like the show. It is the worst chase scene of all time.
Yep.
It is the worst chase scene.
It was funny. I remember getting into an argument with James when it first aired because I felt like people were being ridiculous with their criticism. And he said it's worse chasing him all the time. I'm like, come on, man, there's probably worse. And then I was like, I don't know if I can think of one.
I don't think there is
that
one
I've seen in something that you wouldn't watch and expect to be good, right? That's what I mean. Like something of the caliber of Star Wars. And when I watched part of the fan edit and they cut from that scene when they pull the mask over her head, which is a perfect transition to black. Like as an editor, that's exactly where I would have done it.
Yeah.
And you don't even need the scene. It doesn't add anything. I was like, oh no, they're right. Like, yeah, that's the kind of stuff. I have not rewatched Kenobi. Mainly because I'm afraid to. Because it was one of those things. I was so high on the hype of just like, I can't believe this exists. I'm so happy we got to see these characters again and these actors. It'll probably fall like a full star, which is fine.
For me. And you know what sucks is bringing it back around to Maul. If you expect me to believe that these Inquisitors in Maul are the same or interact with this or interact with people similar to them, are the same people in Obi-Wan, I can't buy it at this point. They're terrible.
Well, I will tell you though,
as Inquisitors, they're terrible.
I will tell you that the whole Inquisitor system I've always kind of had mixed feelings on because we don't really know how it works. Because Merrick, who is the one guy in Maul, who looks like a knight in armor, basically.
Yeah.
He's the first brother. And I always understood as like they were ranked, but I think they're just numbered because the other guy with the mask is the 11th brother, and he seems to be completely on par. And I also like power scaling in Star Wars. I don't want to get too in the weeds of, but when he is like holding his own with Maul, now they are fighting together, and Ahsoka basically one-shots him in tails. I'm a little bit like, he's the one you use. There's other ones we've never. Now he looks amazing, so I'm not going to complain.
Dude, he's so freaking cool looking.
Yeah, there's so much aura, like it's crazy. But I'm like, there's ones that are not named that we've never seen before. Why are we using one that we know gets one-shotted? But we also know he can't die because Ahsoka kills him, so it removes stakes. I'm like, why are we using him? We know Merrick has to die at some point because he's dead and Ahsoka was revived by Morgan Elsbeth or whatever because he's just green smoke fart cloud when they cut him open. So, which was dumb as crap in Ahsoka anyway. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, it was just weird that they were like, they picked him solely, I think, for looks and not maybe considering story consequence. So that was a little
about Merrick, or are we talking about the other one?
The other one. Really, both of them. Those are the two you choose. But Merrick, I get. The other one, I'm like, he looks cool at least.
On the other hand, for me, on the flip side of that, I was like, man, they picked these two, and yes, I know that the other one the one you were just talking about, yeah, he gets killed fairly easily against Ahsoka. I do think Ahsoka has kind of earned that. She even bested Maul in a one-on-one battle and all that. Like, so like, I think Ahsoka's kind of earned that at this point. Plus, correct me if I'm wrong, this happened a little later on too, when Ahsoka was not, it wasn't like younger Ahsoka, it was older past Jedi Ahsoka, right?
Are you talking about the one with like the red eyes?
Yeah, the one like looks like a bird.
Yeah, no, that's not long after Revenge of the Sith because it's Ahsoka novel timeline in the Tale series when she's in hiding from the Inquisitors.
Well, either way, I mean, at that point she had already bested Maul anyway. And
yeah,
so,
but that was okay. If you want me to get nitpicky about this, that was like a long drawn out fight, and they showed Ahsoka was terrified the entire time, and she barely beat him. And then it's like Maul struggling against the two Inquisitors. Well, actually, I need to hush because I'm going to get
no spoiler.
But I mean, I think that was in the marketing, so I'm not like gonna.
Yeah.
But
well, they're just if you slip too far, you might say something else. I don't want you to use something else.
Right. I'm gonna stop. But my point is, using him, I was a little bit like, I think you could have used another one, even though his presentation's amazing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I love him. I think he's so. He is one of those that when he shows up, I'm like, I know Ahsoka just kind of one-shotted him or whatever, but I'm like, man, you are awesome. Like I love anytime that they can just bring him on and as someone who's intimidating and scary. And honestly, like this show has made Inquisitors scary again. You know what I mean? I feel like
I was about to say that they have never been cooler than they are here.
they have never been cooler than they are.
And
here.
you know what? I'll say this too about the Ahsoka one-shot thing that makes it kind of better. The Jedi that survived Order 66, even like as they had to deal with all that trauma and like not turn to the dark, their wills and resolve got stronger.
Yep.
Obi-Wan one-shotted Maul.
Yep.
Maul is one of the best duelists in Star Wars. And you think about it in Phantom Menace and even in Clone Wars, like it was always like, you know, I mean, Kenobi's the better fighter for sure, but like there was precedent for that, I think is my point. And it shows the growth of the Jedi while the dark, they stagnate. You know, you can get into some cool character stuff and lore stuff.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
All right, see, I just talked myself back out of it, so we're good.
Yeah. Travis Mitchell's talking to us. He said, "How's it going, guys? It goes well.
It is going well.
I've already stayed later than I said I would. So
yeah, we're going longer than we thought we were. But listen, we've had some really good conversations about the Maul series and then the Mando and Grogu movie, and then we came back to Maul.
He just had a pretty wild theory.
Okay.
Did you see his last comment?
I'll read it. You watch it. You watch it be revealed that Thrawn has the corpses of all the Inquisitors with him when he goes to Dathomir.
There's precedent because he's got Merrick. And I mean, Morgan Elsbeth is dead, so I don't know who would do it. Oh, wait, he's the other Night Sister ladies.
Yeah.
The witches.
Yeah.
That's actually, that would be cool.
That'd be interesting.
Most of them are nameless, faceless, little dialogue. Maybe we'll get saber copters again. I'm kidding.
I was gonna say
a
plus about the Maul show is the babyest spoiler of all, Drew. They used those lightsabers, but they did not use them as helicopters, and they were awesome, and they used them well.
Yeah.
I was so
happy.
Like, also, God, no saber copters. They did not do it.
Boo.
I'm so happy.
There's a specific complaint about Maul that I've been seeing that I really want to address. I don't know if I can safely, but I just want to point out with Maul's fighting abilities, if people are complaining about it from the show, one, pay attention to clues, Drew, very obvious clues that the show gets. And remember that in Rebels, when he drops the act, he kills 2 Inquisitors and blinds Kanan in like 3 seconds. like that. Yep. Like Maul is a force to be reckoned with. And people are trying to say the show's doing him dirty. I'm like, no, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Maul is so badass in multiple scenes. What are people talking about?
I hadn't finished the show yet, clearly. Drew.
Clearly not. Also, Oof.
Just kidding, dude.
Anyway.
Drew's gonna I'm never finishing it now, just out of spite.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Travis dropped another theory. The Great Mothers, who I speculate will be the equivalent of his bodyguard and heir to the Empire, betraying him as revenge for the Sith killing their daughters.
That would be a cool full circle moment.
Yeah. That would be really interesting.
Because that's referenced in a lot of other media. Fallen Order does some stuff with that. And dude,
what a cool
side note. What?
No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just saying at first when I watched the Night Sister stuff in the Clone Wars, I didn't know how I felt about it because I was like, this is kind of weird. I've never seen witches in Star Wars before. It's kind of weird. The more we get it, the more I'm like, this is kind of I like this corner of the Force and Star Wars and stuff. I think it was
cool. You hear about the dark side of the Force a lot.
Yeah.
But they don't ever really like it because it's a natural occurring thing, and tapping into it is what throws the Force out of balance when it's used for like evil. But the Night Sisters seem to use it as like a natural thing. So it's kind of neat to see the dark side portrayed not through Sith. You know, that's what I always liked about it.
Agreed.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, just a really random aside is Asajj Ventress is just out and about. Like, we don't know what happens to her. Like, that's something I'd love to see. And I really do hope they still animate Dark Disciple and Son of Dathomir into a season of something one day. Because because those are really big gaps in both of their stories that are worth telling. Whether it's a Clone Wars Legacy season or they literally just call it Dark Disciple and it's 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And that's it. It would be incredible.
That'd be awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man. Hold on, Travis, one more. I enjoy seeing the other groups using the Force besides Jedi and Sith. We still have Jar Jar's girlfriend from Bargoda who used the Force for creativity. The wackiest Clone Wars arc potentially ever. When
Is that the one that's season 6 with Mace Windu?
Yes. It's a Mace Windu and Jar Jar centric episode. And Jar Jar, I think Jar Jar gets it on.
That's the origin story for the thing that other Drew was talking about earlier.
Oh no. Oh no.
Using the Force for something else this time around.
Yeah. Yikes. On that note, I probably need to head out here in a minute. So
yeah, no, guys. I agree. Yeah, this was a ton of fun. Sorry that we're ending it right once you kind of join in, Travis.
Yeah, sorry, Travis. You caught us right at the end, bro.
He makes a good point with what I said, though. Talking about Son of Dathomir, if you don't know, that's where Mother Talzin bites it. And knowing Filoni, that arc is like going to be super important because it is. They've already showed like post that in Tales of whatever the one Asajj was in. They show the end of Dark Disciple in that and go past it. So it's like, Michael, I bought you Son of Dathomir. You better read it.
I will. I'm so sorry. I was like, should I tell him that I still haven't read it? I have it. It's on my shelf and it looks great. It's
actually. Do you remember when I showed you the audio comic version and we watched a little bit of it? That's a great version because the voice acting is actually really good.
Yeah. The thing is, though, you bought me this version, so if I read it, I gotta read it. It's got to be that one.
But I would rather you just engage with the story. And do you want to spend 40 minutes watching that or spend 2 hours reading it?
Dude, I'm a speed reader, bro.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm just kidding.
It's been like 4 years, dude.
I know. I know.
Oh man.
All right. Let's get out of here, y'all.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
Well, this was a ton of fun. I'm glad that we didn't absolutely trash on Mando and Grogu the whole time. Only a little bit of time.
I felt like it was a well-balanced conversation, as all things should be.
You're welcome.
Anyways, though, this is a ton of fun. Curry, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Everyone in the chat who is here now and who isn't here anymore, thanks for joining in. This was like a really last minute thing that we ended up doing, which kind of seems to be the norm right now. But
you pod when you can pod, man. You pod when you can.
Exactly.
I think in the spirit of this conversation, we can end with my tagline. Remember, always look for the good.
Boom.
Boom. With that being said, though,
let's actually
follow us on your favorite platforms. Join our Facebook group. All of that stuff is going to be in the link tree in the description. And until next time, hopefully we'll get the Lord of the Rings trilogy done and ready for you all. Yeah,
this is turning into Return of the King with like 5 endings. So
this really is. Yeah, go support your local theaters. Mando Grogu coming out soon.
Go see
Watch it, I guess, if you want to.
Go see it. Let's go.
Or maybe not. Let's go. Bye.
Bye now.